at Greenlands, and today we have our new cows arriving from the Midlands. At the moment we have 84,000 litres of milk to sell because we do need to raise some cash to pay for them. They are going to cost us £160,000. Got the BGA running. I'm going to switch the methane selling off because I originally thought I would keep that to use to refuel the T6. So I've set that to storing for now. We need to get some digestate in here, and we need to sell some fertilizer as well. So off to the dairy first to sell the milk. So what we're doing is buying some of Kartek's cows from him, selling them off at Carnston, essentially. I had a bit of a look around at the value of cows, and buying cows, they seem to think it's £1,500 for an 18-month-old cow, so I've added 500. So £2,000 per cow is what we are paying. They're going to be 27 months old. They will be in calf, and so first load, 69 grand for the first load of milk. That's pretty good. Not quite a full load for the second one. Obviously we're going to be producing a lot more milk, 50% more milk, so another 46,000. So yeah, nice lump of cash there. And we have a whole load of fertilizer to shift. Cows are going to be arriving this evening before we progress into November, because that way we'll get the benefit of them transitioning through a month. So yeah, nearly 27,000 litres of fertilizer to go, so that gets us up to 360,000, which is pretty good because we've got, say, £160,000 to pay out for all the cows, and here they come, just rolling through the village. Yeah, it's gonna be a good addition to the farm. So the breaking the whole little storyline bit. I asked a couple of videos ago about this. I really wanted to expand the number of cows that we had, but I didn't want to buy 18-month-old ones and wait. And so I asked them. You guys said, yeah, just buy some in calf heifers. It's a thing that happens. So that's what we're doing. So just making the payment now using Easy Dev Tools. I have had to increase the food capacity of the cowshed because with 240 in there, they eat a lot. I had actually meant to work it out, and I'm going to do it while we're chatting, which you should never do. Never do live maths. It's never a good idea. But hey, how hard can it be? So you can see their condition is quite poor. Their health is low. Obviously, they came from Kartek. Of course, their health is low. You know, the guy was struggling to keep them fed. I think he did have 500, and man, 500 would be insane. I've done a few days now of feeding words are escaping me, of feeding 240, and it's a lot. It's a lot of food. So 3,900 litres a month per cow. So if I grab a calculator, I was really meaning to prepare this beforehand, but I didn't. So the lorry's off on its way. We need to do some feeding, I think. So that's 936,000 litres per month, or 312,000 litres a day, which explains why when I put 160,000 litres in and then slept the night, they ran out of food. So that means we're going to need about 12 million litres of feed a year. Just the cows. That 2.8 million litres of grass silage we cut doesn't look quite so impressive now, does it? We do have a lot of feed, so one of the mods that I've got to add in, I think it's Mark, the mod. This TMR mix was sat done pre-waiting. Again, I'm checking names, sorry. Pretty sure it was, or M, sorry. Why am I assuming you're called Mark? I don't know. The creator of the time-saving stock check mod sent me the latest version of it a while ago. I need to add it in, and that's going to be really useful on here because I think I remember him saying, and I should have read the message, because I think it takes it from, bunker silos and bales as well, so we can get a total amount of all of the feed that we've got stored up. which is going to be really useful for understanding things on here. Because yeah, 12 million litres is a lot. And that's without feeding the beef, because the beef are grazing, because I've not got the enhanced animal system on here. I don't think we need that complexity. We're running it on Attingham, so, and Maple. But yeah, I don't think we need that on here. The beef actually have quite a big area to graze, so it's feeding them quite well anyway. So yeah, that should be okay. I'm going to put some straw in the shed as well now. We want to keep the manure production and the slurry production going, because they are a big part of our income along with the milk. Have the mini BGA is running with manure and slurry. Tomorrow we will get the industrial BGA running as well. I think we're going to have a lot of stuff to get through. I am not ignoring the elephant in the room that is 600 bales that need collecting. We're going to get to some of that. It's turned out it's going to be quite a big job. Oh, dope. So one of the things that I am looking at doing, and I'm going to have a quick chat with Casa about how to do it, is to edit a version of the dynamic bale storage that we've got for our straw, hay and whole crop silage, to make a version for grass silage, so that eventually, once those bales ferment, I can put them in one of those to minimize the impact. Actually, I found driving away from that field, I had to bring all the tractors back up. I was still getting pretty solid FPS even with 600 bales there, and as soon as I got away from the farm, it went back up to the 60, but I leave it capped. I never bother uncapping it. 60 is enough for me. I'd rather have it sat at a rock solid 60 FPS than jumping around, so that's what I tend to aim for. Both the displays that I play on 144 Hz displays, but 60 FPS is fine for me. Actually, I can cope with less playing Farm Sim. It's not like it's a game that's dynamic particularly. Even 30 I can live with playing Farm Sim. So probably any less than that and it's a bit ropey, but you know, we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. The Oaks, I was having some bits of 30 FPS, and not only because I had the laptop in office mode for part of it. Yeah, we'll ignore that. Yeah, so it's quite a demanding map. Lots of people starting to make videos on there, so maybe go check them out. Yeah. I want to show you sleeping through the night, because the money changes quite a lot, because we've got the BGAs running and we've got all of the generators running, and I'd forgotten how much money we make in a night, and it kind of shocked me. So yeah, like 100 grand overnight after all of our costs, so it's pretty nice. And that's mostly from the BGA, so there'll obviously be a bit before we kicked into November, because we slept quite a lot of the end of the day. Yeah, don't know if that beep came through, but might need to get a new smoke alarm. So beeping a fair bit. It's had a new battery in it, so it's obviously not the battery, so we might need to buy a new one. But yeah, you can see they have eaten all of the food that we gave them. So I am gonna, I've got 75,000 litres of milk already, just from half a day, maybe a bit more than half a day. Their health has all come up. There was no space for them to have calves, so that's fine. I'm not worried about that. The milk is where the money is. Because we're getting so much slurry, I'm going to sell the Garant tanker, because it only holds about 30,000 litres, and I'm going to get a one like we have for the milk, but I'll set it up to do slurry instead of milk. The reason that I've got them set for individual fill types is more important for the milk one. The trigger for the fuel and the milk kind of cross, and if it can take both, sometimes it fills with diesel, and that's not great when you're trying to sell milk. So yeah, so that's sold for £72,000, and I'm trying to remember where in the store this one is. No, it's not there. So probably under trailers. Let's have a quick look. There it is. There is a pop trailer as well, but this is fine. 50,000 litres is pretty good. I might have to go bigger on the milk tanker. So that, I think there are some bigger ones. Someone did suggest some bigger ones. I thought this one actually went bigger, but it doesn't seem to. Or we can just make the runs backwards and forwards. It doesn't take that long. And quite easy to do kind of in the background. But I do like to show stuff like that because it's quite a big chunk of cash that comes in. Oops, it looks like it has the number plate left over from me recording the last Maypole video. I didn't realise that would carry over. I guess because it's a standard number plate rather than a custom one. Kind of awkward. We'll have to fix that at some point. But this will just make it quicker for moving the slurry about. If we need to move any down to the industrial BGA, it's better to move at 50,000 litres at a time rather than 30. Speaking of the industrial BGA, we are going to make use of the Unreal Capacity 82 Studios trailer to shift all of the manure we have at the moment down there. That means the mini BGA can process the slurry faster, so everything will process a bit faster. I think we'll be overwhelming the generators that we have. So those are from the Lizard Modular BGA, but they are the old version. I have not updated that mod. I might add in some of the network distributors that I made to replace those because the modular BGA got a massive update and those don't really work with other BGAs, but the network distributor does. So we might buy some of those as well just to speed up the processing. This episode has a bit of stuff in it that felt a little bit cheesy or cheaty. Mostly around using this big trailer and, whacking the capacity of the cowshed up to 250,000 litres of food, but still have to feed twice a day, so it's not that cheaty. It just felt a little bit weird. I don't usually play with stuff like this. I'm shifting about 190,000 litres of manure. I think this series is, and I spoke about it when we did the big grass silage cut around the farm and ended up using the cheaty loading wagon. There's going to be a mix in here of us doing stuff that's a bit cheaty and stuff that's normal. So the scale of things means it's kind of going to have to be like that, because otherwise it would just take me so long to do things, and yeah, that would not be so much fun at the moment. So there's going to be a mixture. While we're here, there is a little bit of methane in here because there was a little bit of silage left in there. So we're going to top up the T6. We're going to leave it down here for now. I think we should probably take it back to the yard at some point, but for now it's going to stay down here. And then we're going to fill up with silage to take that back over to the main farm. Get some more maize silage over there. We're going to need, at least a trailer load of that size trailer a day to feed the cows, probably, or close to. So I don't think we're going to be putting any silage through any of the BGAs, but definitely manure and slurry, because there's going to be a lot of it. The other thing that we're going to get into on here is I want to put a spinnery in. So it was a suggestion in one of the comments, I think from Nathan, to look at adding in a spinnery to make use of all the wool that we produce. And I'm going to go and have a look for modded ones, because I only have the base game one installed. I just wonder if there are any better ones. So I'm just going to kick off filling the trailer up and go have a look for some others. I'm thinking about doing a video where we look at the sort of cost benefit. So what am I doing now? Okay, I'm leasing. I want to take the wool down to the store, so we're going to lease a trailer that we can auto load onto, and also we want to use it for auto loading the bales. Now the slight issue with this one is that you have to pick what you auto load, so we're going to need to swap that over once we've got it all down there, but we do have a lot of wool to move, so this trailer is going to be good for that anyway. Yeah, I'm going to do a video looking at, obviously I've done the can you make money from sheep with Mace Plus, and it's quite difficult with wool. You can do it by selling lambs, but not with wool, and I'm wondering if the gain from going from wool to cloth or fabric to clothes is going to counteract that. Now that means you've got to buy at least a production. There is a production that I put down here that does both. and there's the time factor. So I'm going to have a look at that. It's got me intrigued with how many sheep we have on here as to how much that production is going to be able to process. Say we've got quite a lot of wool stored up because I don't think I've sold any on here yet. Basically I was saving it to get a good price, and so I was kind of waiting, and yeah, so I'm going to have a look at that and see how much more profitable it makes them, because I really want to focus on wool on here, not lambs, but we might have to. So I think looking at the cost increase from wool to clothes, the wool to fabric, it's significant. So I'm assuming that's another step up with clothes, but I think they take quite a long time to process. It's not something I've ever done in farm sim. So, but you know, we could make our own merch. Yeah, let's go with that. We'll make woolen t-shirts. Yeah. Yeah. Or hoodies. Or jumpers. I don't know. They're just going to grab the pallet forks. I had a random one this morning while we do this. I was out for a morning run before work, and there was a very, very minor car accident. Like, I was probably 50 meters away, and it sounded like someone had gone over a speed bump a bit too fast, with kind of the impact sound. So someone was coming up to a mini roundabout. They kept going when they should have given way, and a car turned right into the side of them. You know, pretty minor accident, nothing too major. Damage didn't look significant. Quite a busy junction, and it was 7 in the morning. Suddenly, it turned into a whole load of people out of their cars shouting for them to move. So one of the guys was out taking pictures of the damage, obviously for his insurance. Yeah, people getting out of the car shouting at them to move, within seconds of them having to stop. And I just kept going. And as I went past some people that were rubbernecking from the shops, I heard he's just smacked him or hit him. So yeah, what went from a minor, you know, road traffic accident with maybe a couple of grand's worth of damage. They were old cars, so maybe not that much damage in terms of value, to two people fighting in the street. Yeah. And by the time I got back, it would have been cleared up. But why bother? Why bother with that stress? And, you know, life's too short. It's people confuse me. People really confuse me. And that one really did. It's like, you know, like, why are you getting aggro because you've had to wait 30 seconds because there's been a car accident? You don't know if anyone's hurt, because you've literally just stopped and can't go around. So this spinnery is a lot more. So I'm hoping, I haven't checked, I'm hoping it works a lot faster. But this one does go from, you can go from wool to fabric or cotton to fabric and then fabric to clothes. So you can do it in one hit, which is kind of cool. So hopefully that will help out. I need to have a look and see how all the cycles compare and stuff. They looked pretty good in this. So, and I had to have a little break, and I have had a look, and this one is about 8 times faster than the base game one for producing fabric, and a lot faster for clothes. A lot faster. I think about 27 times faster for producing clothing. So that's going to eat through that pretty quickly. I'll put a link for it below. I'll try and remember to do that, because you guys might be interested in in which production that is. So we're going to turn the wool on. Yeah, so that's really cool. I kind of got lucky there. We've paid a lot more, but actually we've got something that's a lot faster, and we don't have to buy a tailor's, so it's probably not a huge difference in the end. And we're going to load up all the chocolate now and get that sold. We also have a load of canola oil, I think it is, which we're going to get sold as well. Because of the issues I had with selling chocolate on the map before, we're going to take this all up to the sell everything point, because that seems like the easy option for me. The dairy is still slowly working through stuff. So I'm just going to leave that to process, really. And then we're not going to do anything more with that, I don't think. If we want to use the dairy, we'll put on the cheaty version of the farm dairy that I made, but I think we'll just sell the milk directly. The same with the oil mill. These are they're all base game ones, and they're all just so slow to produce things for the kind of pace that we're trying to play at on here. So yeah, so we now have a spinnery, and we're going to go from, for the first time for me, we're going to go all the way to clothes, which will be kind of cool. The price delta between clothes and wool is huge, even allowing for the fact that you don't get as many clothes as you get wool. So I don't do a separate video on it because I think that would be kind of interesting. Going to be doing it with Maize Plus, so yeah. Let's get all this stuff sold. End up selling it in batches because the trade is immense, and I meant to make a note of the money we had at the start, but what's that, 72,000, so I'll just try and keep a running tally in my head, I guess. You can play along at home if you want. So 22, so 110, 113, 117-ish. Let's call it about 140,000 in big handfuls. So that's that done. I was going to have I wanted to just place down a cheap workshop to swap the configuration over, but because I can't do that and this tray is just leased, I'm just going to return it and lease the one that does the bale loading config, because we are going to try and get some of these bales stacked. So the long-term plan is to build one of the dynamic bale storages probably down here, although I'm not sure. We might take the bales up to the yard in the end, and I just need to sit down and do the edit to make it work with grass silage instead of silage. So pretty easy to do. I just didn't have time to do it before this, and they need to ferment first anyway before we put them in, because otherwise they'll go in as grass, and that would be a waste of time. Having wrapped and baled them, or baled and wrapped. It would have been really weird if we wrapped it and then baled it. Each individual blade of grass. And that was where my brain went really randomly. So first stack, 42 bales. It holds 42 either round or square, which is quite nice. And it means we're going to have about 15 stacks of bales here for now. I have added in the chicken coops as well. Thank you for the suggestions on those, folks. I've gone with the one that I was going to go with, and I just haven't had a chance to put them in yet. I kind of run out of time and really want to get this job done first. So my plan is to put them somewhere around here. This field is immense, and we don't need to worry about losing a chunk of it. What I think we do need is more cash. So, and one of the things, we're going to get about 128,000 litres of milk a day on here now with the 240 cows. So that's quite quickly going to add in cash. And obviously we need to pay the loan off, but also with that, with the manure and slurry going through the BGA and fertilizer that we're selling from the digestate from that process, I think it's really worth us investing in those chickens, because that's going to let us make a load more money. And we'll be using the farm supply pack, because that gives us the really good value feed that we need to make them profitable with Maize Plus. And so between, we'll have the rivers of milk that we're going to be getting now. We're going to have the clothes as that processes. We're going to have eggs. So we're going to be in a pretty good place, I think, to be making progress on it. Once this is done, we're going to need to fertilize and lime this whole area. That's going to be a pretty immense job as well. So we'll get to that at some point. So I thought it would be a brilliant idea to stack the second load on top of the first load. I've done that before in Farm Sim 19, not 22, and it worked quite well. And I thought it would just mean it would take up less space, but we've got a step deck trailer, so the first 6 bales have to drop once we unload them, and it went better than I expected, but not as well as I would have liked. So yeah, I'm going to get this restacked, and I'm going to put them as separate stacks. And then we're into doing some of the round bales, because I just kind of started picking those up next. I'm going to do the rest of this off camera. I'll get them all stacked up down here. Once they're fermented, we'll look at putting them into a bale store. And then using them to feed the cows with the silly amounts of feed that we're going to need to be making. Not sure what we're doing on here next. Probably, if we've got enough cash, we'll be putting in those chicken sheds and getting that done. We need to get a silo down here for the feed as well. And yeah, how things are going to go. Just kind of playing, because that's my new thing. At this point, I'm going to say thank you to the YouTube channel members and the patrons. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. And those of you making the switch from YouTube membership to patronage, because that's better for everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click the like button if you did. Comments, questions or suggestions below. And if you're not already, think about subscribing and turning on notifications. And I'll see you next time on Greenlands.